welcome to Trigger the Sun with Tom and Joe. And tonight, you know, it's 8 o'clock. It's on YouTube and Spotify.
Oh, shit.
Instagram, everywhere. We're going everywhere. We're going to invade your fucking social media all over the place. And tonight...
God, you sound like we're a virus.
We might be, according to our parents.
Oh, shit.
But man, tonight me and Tom wanted to kind of elaborate more on, you know, the history of basically Drunker Than the Sun, I guess. Ourselves growing up together back in rural Ohio.
Yeah, in rural area. Rural. No, ain't nobody can say that word right. Rural.
I know, right? But man, we've been discussing this for a while. The first memory that I have of Tom is...
Probably bad.
No, in 4th grade. A lot of kids, when you're in school, you have like a party, people sing happy birthday, whatever. Well, they didn't sing happy birthday because Tom had a special request.
That's right.
He wanted to sing Ice Ice Baby.
I vaguely remember this.
And that's the very first thing. Like when I'm thinking about our friendship, our relationship, it was Tom and at least 2 other people in the class. But I'm not gonna name any names, but it was funny.
I mean, I knew back then I loved Vanilla Ice.
I mean, because that was I feel like that was your introduction to rap.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
And that just sticks out to me as the start of our friendship and our history. Is like, that's one of the very first memories I have of you.
Oh, okay.
Is in front of the 4th grade class singing Ice Ice Baby.
You know what's sad? I'll tell you what's really sad is I don't remember the first time I met you. All I remember is we've been friends forever.
I know.
Like, that's what I remember. Like, I remember in
4th grade
fourth grade
is where I see the origin, because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know the first encounter.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't either. But what I do remember was you drew a lot.
I did draw a lot.
And I drew a lot. But your art is way better than mine. Now, what happened was he was drawing Predator. The Predator.
I would draw the Predator a lot back then.
It was so, and I was like, oh my god, this looks just like the fucking movie.
It's spot on.
This is spot on. It's like, I gotta know this guy. I love that movie. Like, I love that fucking movie.
I think at that point in time, we'd been exposed to things that maybe we shouldn't have saw.
Probably. But it didn't matter. Yeah. All I knew is I wanted to hang out with this guy, and that's how we started to become friends.
But around that same time, our school, the elementary school we attended, would have fall festivals, carnival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of the highlights of my childhood anyways. We'd always get to go. They'd have like a haunted house, all kinds of shit.
No, it's dope because they would have a haunted house in the school.
Yeah.
They'd also have games in the school.
Yeah, games.
And you was able to fucking socialize. Because in our area, everybody lived so far away from each other. Like, unless you had a car, you couldn't drive to your friend's house. You couldn't just walk down the fucking block. It just wasn't happening. Yeah. So when you had these fucking festivals, everybody was at school.
Oh, everybody
and
knew.
It was like on a weekend, on a Friday, so it was like you didn't have to be at school the next day. Nobody had to be at work. Parents didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It was like we were able to socialize and shit.
Yeah, and see, everybody you saw at school, all your friends would be there.
Right.
So you wanted to go.
Right.
The biggest one that stands out to me is Tom.
The Batman.
The Batman.
I was the Batman. And I dare anybody say that I wasn't. Because I was the Batman. And at this time, the Batman 1989 movie
had already been out,
and now is the time for the Batman Returns.
Batman Returns was out. You're right.
Yeah. So what happened was I went to the store.
Yeah.
What it was Walmart -10. So it was the cheapest of the cheapest. And what I saw was this Batman mask. It was rubber.
And it
looked just like Michael Keaton's mask.
It was pretty amazing. I was jealous.
It was the shit. And I'm like, this is the shit. The only downside was, on the back side of it, was this big ass slit. So you'd have to fucking tie it together. What I used was bobby pins. Not bobby pins, but safety pins.
Yeah.
And fucking tie it together. So I had this mask. Back in the day, you had these buttons. Everybody had these buttons, these big ass giant buttons.
Yeah.
That
fucking, I remember. Yeah.
They're
like big. They're like 5 or 6 inches diameter or some shit.
Big as fuck. Big as fuck. But there was all kinds of them. Well, what happened was I saw one that was a Batman symbol.
Yeah.
So it was black with the bat symbol in it. I'm like, I gotta have this.
Exactly.
And it was in my room. So I used that as my fucking bat symbol. So I pinned it to my shirt.
Black sweater.
A black sweater and a homemade cape.
Yeah.
Black jeans, black shoes, and my Batman mask.
Exactly.
So what happened was, I wanted to be Batman.
Me and Tom both did.
Wanted to be Batman.
Tom
like a motherfucker. Like I was training in my woods. I was like doing cartwheels in my woods, hitting trees. Like, I'm gonna be Batman.
He was getting it done.
I was getting it done. So I had a fucking Kroger sack and put all my Batman shit in it. And we hid it in this one spot.
Yeah.
And we went and we had a good time walking.
Yeah.
Tom was just hanging out, doing his thing. And then and I was like, okay, we gotta go fight crime now. So we all go outside. It was me, you, my cousin, and your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody else had costumes except me. I was the Batman. So what ended up happening was, we were chilling in this spot at the school. It was like dark and dingy, and you couldn't see us, but you saw the playground from the angle we were at.
I think it was like a fire escape.
Yeah, it was like something like that. And these kids were picking on this little girl, and I'm like, fuck this.
It's Batman.
Batman time. So I put the mask on, all I had to do was put my button on, put my mask on, and my cape. And that was it. Because I was wearing everything else.
Yeah.
You know? So I put that shit on, and I go down there, and it's Michael Keaton's I Could Be. Because they were messing with this little girl, and as Michael Keaton's I Could Be, I'm like, stop it. Because Michael Keaton was the first one to do that voice.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was.
And they're like, who the fuck are you? And these are all like high school kids.
Yeah, they're high school kids.
And I'm like, and they're like, who the fuck are you? And I go, I'm Batman. Tell all your friends. And before I get friends out, they jump me, they grab my ass, threw me against a car, like, get his mask off! We're gonna fight him. So like all my body's like, keep my mask on.
Exactly.
I gotta keep my protective identity on me. Right? So Joe, his brother, and my cousin all were like, I don't know what they did. They must have like attacked him or something. Because next thing I know, they're like, get them instead! And they start chasing them. And I'm trying to put my mask back on, using my safety pins.
Your identity was protected.
It was concealed.
Yeah.
It was concealed.
I remember the year following that, I was so inspired that I tried the same thing and failed miserably.
But like I stood up and got my ass beat. So
But you were Batman for that.
I was Batman for that second. And then the same high schooler kids were kicking it and chilling.
Yeah.
And they're on a playground and I'm like, I'm gonna go down there and spy on them. And everyone's like, no, don't go. I'm like, I'm gonna. So I did go. I went into the slide. I got into the slide. It was a tube slide, so they couldn't see me. And I slid down it accidentally because I didn't want to slide down it. I got like halfway. I'm like panicking, like, fuck! So like my legs and my arms are hitting the side of the fucking slide so I don't come out. So they don't see me, and I'm inching right by the light, and I'm listening to these high schooler kids talk, and they're like talking shit, like, you believe these fucking kids? You believe this guy thinks he's Batman and shit? And they're like, I know. What I heard in the conversation was the little girl they were picking on was one of their sisters. So they really weren't picking on her?
Yeah, it's just family shit.
Family shit?
And Tom intervened.
I had to intervene. Almost cost me my life. But that was a great time.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like, I also remember, like, you remember when we would be playing out, trading cards on the playground?
Oh, yeah.
Cards?
Yeah.
Like, back in the day,
I had like 4 of them.
XMen was the big cartoon on Fox. And we would bring our cards on recess, trading cards.
Yeah.
We'd come out the trade and we'd go, oh, I got this and we did this. But we got that shit shut down, remember? Because the teachers thought that it was too close to drug dealing. So we were...
See, I don't remember that.
We were no longer allowed to trade cards. But then after that, we started just playing X-Men.
Well, see, I do remember playing X-Men.
Playing X-Men.
And we would divide up on teams.
Yeah, exactly. We were on the bad guys, and then the preppy kids were on the good guys.
Yeah, because my favorite one was Sabretooth.
Yeah, and I was multiple ones because I remember...
You were Juggernaut, you were Magneto.
Because I always kept getting killed because the guy that played Wolverine would kill me and be like, you're dead now.
Yeah. But I remember, the one time I remember when we were playing X-Men, this was 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I remember we got banned from playing X-Men because we would fake fight.
Fake fight, yes.
We would fake fight.
And they shut that down, too.
Yeah, and we'd fake fight. And I remember one time the dude who's Wolverine, because me and him would go at it all the time because it was Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Exactly. And
he came up behind me and he like legit grabbed me by my neck, not squeezing it, but just like grabbed it.
Yeah.
And I legit flipped him over my shoulder and he hit the ground. And I was like slashing at him when he hit the ground. Like, ah! And the teacher's like, this is it. This is over. You guys can't be doing this.
But that's the thing. Like,
but we were playing.
They always seem to shut our shit down because we always used to play that hybrid soccer game, but we'd run the ball.
That. But you know what was crazy was, like, our grade was more violent and tougher than the grade above us.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing that same hybrid soccer game with the kids above us.
Yeah.
And all them bitches, like, bitched out. And, like, were telling on us and shit like that.
That's probably what shut it down. Because they were like, we just want to play this cool game we made up.
Yeah, because what it was we had a soccer ball, and you would kick it a couple kicks. And then you'd pick it up and run with it like a football. And then you dribble it like a basketball. And then pass it like a fucking football to the other guy.
Exactly.
It was fun as fuck.
You could use your hands and kick it. Like, it was a fun game to play.
It actually made soccer fun.
It made soccer fun, but then the teacher shut us down.
Like, who wants to play soccer?
Exactly. It's just such bullshit. Like,
in 6th grade, I know for a fact we were in 2 different classes because I had the cool teacher. You had the shitty teacher.
You're right.
That's absolutely right. And fucking, I was like with all the cool kids.
Yeah, exactly. You were.
But everybody loved me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, everybody loved me. I don't give a fuck. People don't like me now, but I don't give a fuck. Everybody loved me.
I will attest, Tom was very popular at that point in time.
And I was one of the poorest kids in that school. Because I remember, you remember this? I remember in elementary, this is how poor I was. I would wear fucking Wilson shoes to school. Joe had fucking pumps. If anybody remembers,
and I had Air Jordans.
And you had Air Jordans. Air Jordans one blew my mind because I was a Michael Jordan fan. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's got the coolest shoes ever. But he had these pumps, and what would happen was he didn't like his pumps. I don't remember why, but he didn't like them. So what happened was every fucking time we go to school, we'd switch shoes. So I was like feeling so cool. I'm like, I gotta pump this. I gotta pump this tongue. This like Shaquille O'Neal.
I don't even think Shaquille O'Neal was a thing then.
No, he was.
We're way before that shit.
I don't know. I don't remember. But all I know is the Reebok pump was like the bomb diggity. And like everybody wanted that shit, and Joe had it. I did not. No. I had Wilson and Spalding and things that you saw in basketballs, but not in shoes.
Yeah.
But they were shoes. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
But see, the thing about that was, I was about as poor as Tom. I don't know how I got that shit.
I don't either.
But I had it. I don't fucking know.
No, what I think it was I think your parents was like, fuck this, we're buying it anyways. Like, I remember switching shoes every day.
We would be always hanging out, always spending the night at each other's house, hanging out at my place, eating fucking chili and crackers.
Dude. Chili and crackers was the shit. Like, I used to think that was the shit because, like, we didn't have that at my house. Like,
I don't even know where it came from.
You know what also was the shit at your house? Was tea.
Toasted tea.
Tea. So his parents had a kettle on the stove. And that's how we got our shit. We got our hot water for tea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the fucking best. Because we don't have tea at my house.
I had a wood burning stove, is the thing. and that's how we got heat. And there was always a kettle. So, of course.
See how poor he was?
Exactly.
That's how poor he was. The heat was wood.
Exactly. It wasn't gas. We had to get the fucking wood and put it in a wood-burning stove. But it also gave us tea.
It gave us tea. And dude, like, I used to think that was the bomb. I was like, this is the fucking coolest shit ever. And then like, see, also what was cool as fuck was there'd come a time where his parents would be like, all right, we're going to bed now. You guys have a good night. And we're like, okay. And we'd stay up all fucking night. And I was like, I can't do this at my house. I can't do this. This is awesome.
And I don't even know if I knew that I could do it at my house, but we did it.
It was the fucking bomb. Because, like, we're sitting here eating crackers with tea. Eating crackers, chili, and tea. And I was just sitting there, like, scooping the chili up with the cracker. We didn't have no utensils.
Exactly.
We're scooping it up with the saltines.
Exactly.
It was fucking awesome.
And playing video games, scrambling porn.
But that was also another thing that was crazy, was Joe always had the fucking latest video games.
Oh, I did.
He always had the latest. I never did.
Right
so
now.
I'd be like, oh man, I'm gonna go to Joe's. And then also he had go-karts. He had mopeds. And I was like, this is the shit. It was like I went to another world. Because his parents didn't make us do chores.
No. And
we would ride around on go-karts and mopeds. I'm like, this is awesome. And I go back to my house and my parents are like, guess what you gonna do today? I'm like, what? Move cinder blocks? Fuck! So I'd move cinder blocks. I'm like, God, I wish I was riding that moped right now.
And the mopeds were my dad. I don't know why he had them, but he had mopeds to travel around. And like,
dude, it was
the
so
go-kart.
awesome.
The go-karts was a gift to us. But yeah, I remember that too. Just like cruising around the yard or up and down the street on the mopeds. Like, that's what we fucking did.
That's all we did.
During the day. That was the daytime.
That was the daytime accident. But what was crazy was, like, when we was riding on go-karts and mopeds, we were pretending like we were Mad Max and Terminator.
Yeah.
And we're like, we'd go by like a tree, we're like, like, 10 of them, Joe. And like, me. And then what was crazy was his parents let us ride the mopeds out on the roads.
On the roads, yeah.
So then we go to, and I'm like, oh my God, I felt like any fucking 16-year-old who first gets their license, the feeling you get that you're free, that's how I felt at Joe's house at 10 years old. So at 10 and 11, I was like, this is awesome. I'm flying around.
I don't even know how we did that. Because you're right, we were super fucking done just riding mopeds and shit.
Riding mopeds. And it was the shit. It was the fucking shit. I felt like a biker. I'm like, I'm so cool.
Doing 20 mile an hour.
20 miles an hour. And before the moped started, I had to pedal it, and then kick it on. And like, this is awesome. It was fucking sweet.
It was amazing though. It was
Loved
fun.
it.
It was a great time.
But what was crazy, the most crazy thing was like, what year was that? It was before junior high and middle and before and after.
95 we were in that was our 8th grade.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking of is like, there's one time that me and you made Wolverine claws.
I know,
out of steel.
Yeah. No, it was a bike fender. It was a bike fender.
Is that what it was?
It was, yeah.
And then we had rubber, something rubbery.
No, it was inner tube. It was
inner tube.
We cut an inner tube up and a bike fender up.
So what happened was we made these Wolverine claws, and I took mine, like a dumbass, I took mine home, and I'm like, look at what I made at Joe's. And my parents go, what the fuck?
I know, right?
They go, what the fuck is going on over there? Right?
The one good influence Tom has.
Yeah, they banned me. My parents banned me for like a fucking year. Later on in life, what happened was, see, at that time they're like, you can't go over Joe's, you're unsupervised, blah blah blah, woo woo. Well, once I became a teenager and really became unsupervised, they were like, man, why can't all your friends be like Joe? And I'm like, didn't you ban me from his house one time?
But you were making Wolverine claws.
I was making Wolverine claws.
But they were cool.
But it was so cool.
Oh my
And then
God.
his older brother, he had an older brother, which I was always like, He's so mysterious.
He is.
He's so cool.
I don't know if that's really true or not.
But it's not. But I thought it was. And then he would be like bench pressing like 200 pounds. I'm like, Jesus, I want to do that.
I know, right?
Fucking crazy.
It
was just
crazy.
like everything at Joe's house was mysterious and awesome. It was like the forbidden land that you was able to go to. Right? It was like I'm crossing the desert and I get to the oasis. And I'm like, I'm there!
This is Joe's house.
Joe's house.
And the funny thing about all that is, like, I don't know how it was possible, because I don't feel like I had any more money than you did. I think my parents just was like, whatever. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I don't either. But, like, along with those old nighters, we'd sit out, we'd watch movies, we'd play video games all night. Now, I remember, like, I don't know if you still do it, but you used to sleepwalk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew where this was going.
I know, it's just
I knew where this was going.
And, like, after Tom would fall asleep, I'm still, like, scrambling porn or whatever.
Well, well, here's the thing, though. I might still sleepwalk. I think I do it when I get drunk.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I do it like...
Because that's how you wind up on the couch. And
that's true.
But anyways, I'd be just hanging out, like, trying to watch a movie or scramble porn or whatever, and then Tom wakes back up.
Pass out. Had too much chili. Pass out.
And the next thing I know, Tom's getting back up. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Oh, yeah.
He walks over to the door and he's like trying to open it. It won't open. I'm like, dude, Tom, just go back to bed. Like, just lay back fucking down.
The most evil, disdain look.
I know. He would like look. He would give me the death stare and just like,
I will kill you.
Exactly. But then he would go lay back down. But the best one, the very best one,
teapots.
Those teapots. Yeah, the teapots. I hear him say something. He's like, I hear him. They're like upstairs or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he like walks over to the stove and pulls off the teapots, sets them on the ground. He's all like, we gotta guard these. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
You know what's fucked up about that story is? The fucked up part about the story is I remember it. So that to me tells me I was like lucid. Like I was like lucid and like awake but not awake. Yeah. Because I do remember it. Still this day, because that's exactly what happened. What happened was I took the teapots off the fucking stove, hot as fuck. I put them on the fucking ground. Luckily, the house didn't burn on fire. I don't know how it didn't. And I was like, we gotta guard them, because I remember, in my mind, I remember this fucking vividly.
Yeah. Because
I was like, Victor's over there, and Clint's over there.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get this. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, we gotta guard them. We gotta guard the teapots. Because something bad was gonna happen. I don't know what, but something bad was. Because normally I don't remember sleepwalking. Like when you saw me try to open the door, I don't remember that for shit. But I do remember the teapots. Vaguely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was
part of the dream or whatever you had.
Yeah, it was like...
And you can remember.
I can remember. It was a lucid dream, and it was fucking crazy.
And it was hilarious to me. I was like, dude, Tom, just go back to bed.
And I probably went to bed.
You did. But after giving me one of those looks like, fuck you, Joe.
You're not defending shit. You want to get these teapots away from us.
Oh, shit.
You traitor. So... thank you for tuning in to Drunk on the Sun with Joe and Tom. You know how to hit us up. Guess what? We're always on YouTube. We're always on Facebook. We're always on Instagram. Guess what? We're always now on Spotify.
On Spotify and Anchor.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So, if you like this episode and you like other episodes, we got old episodes, new episodes, fresh episodes, shorts, non-shorts, everything.
And if you want to get real generous on Anchor, you can sponsor us and send us some beer money. Just saying.
That sounds like a plan.
Because you have the option to send us some money and be a sponsor for a couple months. 99 cents a month.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's other plans, but I'm not going to ask for a lot of money. Just buy us a beer.
Well, mine's $2, so whatever. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Until next time, peace!
See ya.